the Rikishi Fatu Off the Top podcast. Let's go. Rikishi Fatu, all y'all ready? We the ones. Keep it locked on the Rikishi Fatu podcast. Off the top. We gon' talk about everything wrestling, everything hip hop. Keep it locked. It's time to smarten up.
Oh Lord.
Oh Lordy. How you doing, Big Keish?
Man, I'm good, man. I'm tired.
Mm-hmm.
I'm excited.
Man.
You know what I mean? We got a lot going on here, you know, so yeah, I'm here, man. But this is my peaceful spot where I can just come on the radio here and podcast and just let it all out.
And let them rip.
I'm just going to let it rip.
Yes, sir. Yes,
like we
sir.
because it's not scripted anyway.
That's right. That's
you
right.
You know how we do it here at
That's
the podcast.
how we roll. That's right.
Yeah, we don't do nothing scripted, nothing else. I wouldn't know how to answer.
Yes, sir.
I mean, how do you work something like that, like a script?
Right. But lucky for me, there's just so much to talk to you about. There's just so much stuff going on, and
well,
of course
you're the people's voice.
That's right. I try to be Big Keish.
TMD, the people's voice.
That's right.
You got the people's champion, the final boss, and you know the tribal chief, and then you got the tribal cheeks.
Sir Tribal Cheeks.
Sir
Yes,
Tribal
sir.
Cheeks.
Yes, sir.
And then you got the people's voice. TMD. I'm going to bless you with that.
Thank you. I appreciate that. The people's voice. That's right. Well, I appreciate
that.
Swag
for TMD.
Yes, sir. So, yes, if you guys got, man, hit me up on IG. You already know how to find me. A lot of you guys tap in anyways. So just hit us up. We got the lines popping right now before we get to questions. Big Keish, we are 1 week away from the greatest showcase on earth, the showcase of the immortals, Wrestlemania 41. First of all, how you feeling? You just came off the road. You got tattooed again. Let's can we get a little sneak peek of that new ink you got there?
A little bit.
Look at you. Look at his sleeve.
It's going.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Okay. Now, are you gonna go like all the way around, or is it just the arms? Or
man, Tyson ain't got shit on me by the time too. I'm gonna wrap this shit all around my eyeballs, everything.
Oh my God.
No, I don't know, man. But you know, yeah, I was down in San Diego, actually in Carlsbad, California. Big shout out to Exchange out there, Expo Collectibles in Carlsbad, and yeah. So my guy that does my ink work, his name is True, and you know, you'll see I always post up on my Instagram. So make sure y'all follow him, show him some love, but. You know, I only go to the best, my man. You know what I mean? His scheduling is so, you know, crowded. You know, my scheduling is so that. And it just so happened to work that when I called him, hit him up, I got it done on April 4th. Go figure. So he thought I was ripping him. Like, oh, you serious?
Right.
No, I'm serious. So I sent him the flyer April 5th. I'm actually there in Carlsbad at the Exchange Collectibles. So it ended up, you know, working out. I went in there. We got there, I don't know, about 3-ish. Started at 3-ish, the first part. You know, it took like 5 hours.
Wow.
Yeah. And so, you know, it's like by the time it was 8 o'clock, man, I was already tired.
Before you got the ink, did you take a shot? Little
I had a little A to Z.
Devil's lettuce?
Yeah, I had a little bit of something.
Okay.
You know what I mean? A little bit of something. Got my mind right, my body right, you know. Yeah, did a little bit of, you know, just meditation for a bit. You know what I mean? And so it ended up working out good. But I was exhausted, though, because I was, you know, traveling, going there and, you know, sitting in that chair for another 5 hours. You know, I was ready to get to some type of Texas Roadhouse steakhouse or something. You know, just have me a few shots and a nice cold beer and just, just a meal, you know.
And also last week, now we can't talk too much about it, but you got some of your acting chops in. You had posted up a picture of you on set in a trailer, a nice looking trailer, mind you. Can you talk a little bit about that experience? I know we can't talk about the actual project, but you got some acting chops in. And how?
Well, who was the star of the movie that I posted up the picture?
Well,
do you recognize that guy?
No.
Okay, well, I'm just gonna drop one name.
Okay.
So it's a movie with Nicole Kidman.
Nicole Kidman.
Well, Nicole Kidman wasn't. I didn't post a picture of with Nicole Kidman.
Wow.
There's another cat.
Okay.
So, anyhow.
Wow.
But I'm just drop that name. That's all they need to know.
Okay.
You know what I mean? You know, I was in that was in that movie. It's going to be great. You know what I mean? And that's all I can say.
That's all you can say.
Until maybe, Hollywood.
Yeah.
I don't know
NDAs and stuff.
I mean, what's the big deal?
Yeah.
People going to see it any damn way.
Right.
You know what I mean? It's not like, but anyhow. So that, was on set. I love the movie business.
Mm-hmm.
It's just it's a different hustle from wrestling.
Mm-hmm.
The movie business is hurry up, get dressed, and wait.
Mm-hmm.
Us is like we get dressed last minute. We walking out that gorilla position, and you hear your music going. It's go time. What's the finish? That's it. We could be talking. They could be calling the referee. By the time you get to the ring and get in the ring, the ref telling you the damn finish is there. But the movie industry is just different, man. I think I was there for a good 12 hours that day. I think so. I'm not, but it was just that, why did I have to be there so early at 7 a.m? Then they put you, you get this nice trailer. Okay, the perk's nice. You walk there, you got your name on the door. You know what I mean? You get in there, there's all kind of little, knick-knack snacks and all that. Yeah, that's nice. Then you got to come from there and go to makeup. I'm already fixed up and I don't want nobody to touch my hair or nothing like that, And so you get, oh, you look good. Can you just stand there and we'll take a photo of you? Okay. Meantime, what you getting paid here? This person here just getting paid just ridiculous money. Just to stand there and just dab a little bit of powder on me just to make my face look like yellow? Yeah, I wasn't down with that. And then I had to go, I brought my own clothes. So I went to it, they had to check out wardrobe, they got to check me out. Oh, that's nice, and that looks, okay, well, that'll be great. I said, well, yeah, this is what I got in the email. So once again, I don't know what you doing here. You know what I mean? So I only bring this to attention to those that never do Hollywood movies, never did. You know what I mean? It's just sometimes it's not for everybody.
Right.
You're happy to be on a movie with icons and this and that. But, I've passed a lot before. You know what I mean? Just for the simple fact, I want to be in and out. So I've learned to negotiate. If they come with a role to me, I'm already letting them know, well, this is what I want. Number one, I want to be in there and, I want to be out as soon as my deal's finished. I want to make sure there's a car to take me back to and from. You know what I mean? All that stuff. So, at the end of the day, you're not afraid to ask for stuff, right? Because, it's just a different vibe. Whereas wrestling, man, you got the boys around the locker room. You know what I mean? So everybody can, it's a fun locker room to be around.
Absolutely.
Everybody ribbing each other and so forth. Talking about how they gear stink and talk about, I remember last night we wrestled together, man, your breath just was humming. You know what I mean? It's just like that. It's just a different, different locker room versus Hollywood. So, so y'all make sure to, to check out the movie. When I post it, it'll be out there.
Keep your eyes peeled, y'all, because Big Keish is coming to a TV screen near you.
A TV screen.
So let's talk about what's been happening in the world of wrestling, Big Keish. Paul Heyman. This is what the world is talking about right now. The world is talking about The Favor. The Favor, of course, was CM Punk wanting Paul Heyman to escort him to the ring at WrestleMania 41 in the main event, and it's going to happen. Paul Heyman is going to do it, and
Paul must not like that bag he's getting from the tribal chief, huh?
Let me ask you this, Big Keys. What did you think about that favor for one?
Well, is CM Punk? What is the favor? I mean, this favor here, it sounds like it goes way back, or, you know what I mean? It can't be about the bag, because ain't nobody paying that bag like the tribal chief.
He called Paul Heyman his best friend. I didn't know that, but he considers him his best friend. So what he's doing is he's taking Paul Heyman from the OTC, Roman Reigns, and he's basically saying, you have to come out with me, and he's gonna do it. He's already said he's gonna do it, which blows my mind.
Well, hell, I'll go ahead and fix that right now.
Yes, sir.
I'm gonna call out. We're gonna call out the tribal chief right now.
Okay.
Tribal chief, we already know what you're gonna do. Meaning the tribal chief don't listen to nobody. He don't have to answer to nobody. The tribal chief is the God of professional wrestling. He is the reason why every single person out there in that locker room is making the bag. All right? That's including CM Punk, including Paul Heyman. So here's my take on this. All right? Tribal chief, let nothing steer you away from what is important to you. And you, as far as I've known you all your life, you have never bowed down to anybody, let alone this family don't bow down to anybody. So, there's this thing that's called replaceable. There's that word in there, everything is replaceable. You think the wise man is the only wise man?
Not at all.
Come on.
I feel like I'm sitting across from one. Actually, I know I'm sitting across from one. That's why I'm asking you. And I believe no one's more qualified.
You just call me the kingpin, then.
Sir Tribal Cheeks, I will call you, whatever you require, Sir Tribal Cheeks, whatever you require. But I think there's nobody better than you to speak on this. Your history with Paul Heyman. Let me ask you this, Big Keish. Do you think there's any coming back from this?
No, you know what? As we're talking about this, this Paul Heyman and CM Punk and this secret of, you know what I mean? Like, you owe me and we go way back, man. CM Punk, you ain't the only one that went way back with Paul Heyman.
Right.
You ain't the only one that, where was you at when we was in that little, a Volkswagen two-seater? Me, the head shrinker, Samu, and Paul Heyman. Where was you at? So we want to talk about, going way back. Come on now. Come on, there ain't nothing that Paul Heyman can do that the Samoans don't know what the next move is going to be. So as of now, let's understand this, that the tribal chief, the god of professional wrestling, the man they call Roman Reigns, ain't no fool. He ain't gonna be a fool to nobody. And then we looking at CM Punk, OG, the man that did it all out there in the independence. Finally came back. Now he's claiming his right, to be the best in the world. Icon, the superstar. I don't know. If you see the numbers, going back from Roman to CM Punk, right? And we can't even just understand the numbers are so far off.
Right.
It's because of what? The one man. So I bring all this up that if people didn't know, you ought to know. Now, if I'm a wise man and I'm a smart guy, just like Paul Heyman, who we all say the wise man, you don't get that name for a reason. He knows it all. I'm assuming, Joey, that wise man is a smart wise man to not be able to cross Roman Reigns.
Now, with him possibly escorting CM Punk to the ring WrestleMania 41, is there coming back from that? Now, he escorts CM Punk to WrestleMania 41 Monday Night Raw. Will he come back out with the OTC? I just feel like there's no coming back from that.
What happens if he, okay. What happened if he escorts CM Punk? Then we think that's an entrance. What if he were to come back and then walk back out with Roman Reigns? So now you got two different people from Roman to CM Punk are actually, now you got me in a crossway. Like, is this wise man? What's happening?
Well, let's not forget with Seth Rollins now, because this past Monday Night Raw, Seth Rollins spared the wise man Paul Heyman. He could have curb stomped him. He curb stomped CM Punk.
So let me guess.
Yes, sir. Yes.
You owe me a favor.
There's a lot of favors being asked right now.
I ain't even seen that. But, I mean, you put 2 and 2 together.
You've been in this business long enough. You know.
I mean, come on now.
So now, Paul Heyman owes Seth Rollins a favor. So now throw that into the match at WrestleMania 41. We got ourselves
it's
a
gonna be
predicament.
It's going to be interesting.
Yes, sir.
I'm, like I mentioned before, that once we seen down the road like this start to unveil, where they start to have this Roman, CM Punk, Seth Rollins, you can almost see it boiling to be able to be something in WrestleMania. And to be able to see this angle here move to the top of the card, you know, as it should. You know, there's no straps or nothing involved in it. You know, as we're all used to, like the main event is the main event. But to be able to have, you know, a way to put Roman Reigns, to put CM Punk, to put Seth Rollins, man, this is going to be a match to watch. I mentioned that before, you know? And so, you know, we'll see, man. It depends which way Paul Heyman rolls the dice. You know what I mean? Hopefully he doesn't crap out and, you know, he makes the right choice, you know, to be able to win that jackpot. And that jackpot, we already know where the jackpot's at. But, hey, we're still, a couple weeks away, a week away from Mania. And, yeah, that's going to be interesting to watch.
Switching gears here, let's talk about the Samoan Werewolf, Jacob Fatu. He's got a match at WrestleMania against LA Knight for the U.S. title. This is no doubt, I guess, next to making babies, this has got to be the biggest moment of Jacob Fatu's life. He overcame so much, and he's there. He's here. He's here at the dance now. You've been to the dance multiple times. What advice do you give your nephew, the Samoan Werewolf, Jacob Fatu, 1 week ahead of the biggest moment in his life, WrestleMania 41 against LA Knight?
Well, to get out there, you know, and enjoy the moment. You know, this these type of lifetime opportunities, especially in our industry, to be able to be included into the biggest show on earth as far as WrestleMania. It's a beautiful thing to be able to say, hey, you know, we're considering you to be a part. And for Jacob being the first year, Jacob came in of June of 2024, and already, you know, he's being a part of WrestleMania. You know, it's a huge accomplishment, you know, to Jacob's work. To Jacob's work. And I've always mentioned this many of times that in due time, the fans and WWE will see how a true talent this kid is. You know, so I'm very proud of Jacob. You know, my advice, enjoy the journey. Enjoy the moment. You know, clear the noise. This is your Super Bowl, Jacob. This is your Super Bowl. You got a good guy to dance with by LA Knight. I'm a big fan of LA Knights, you know, and you got a big, you know, this is a great match, important match, U.S. title. So, you know, at the end of the day, let's hope Jacob brings his A game, have a lot of rest the night before, and just ready, focused, that Samoan Werewolf walks out victorious, victory on the day of WrestleMania with the U.S. title.
Yeah, pun intended.
Yeah, that's it.
We're going to take some calls, Big Quiche. We've even got an international phone call, but first, we're going to start off with Bobby. Bobby, are you there?
Yes, sir.
Okay, Bobby, please state where you're from and then your question for Big Quiche.
Yeah. So I'm from like Glassboro, New Jersey. Shout out South Jersey.
Shout out
I'd like
South
to say,
Jersey.
Big Jim reminds me of Mickey from Rocky. And I was just wondering, do you think Jay could overcome the odds of beating the crap out of some Russian dude or some German, whatever type of ethnicity Gunther is? I don't even know what language he speaks. He just makes me very angry. And the fact that he beat up Big Jim like that, I think Jay Balboa has a real shot.
All right.
At becoming champion.
Okay, well, thank you for calling in, my man. Yeah, I mean, we got something seriously happening, man. After seeing what happened to my boy Big Jim, you know, blood has been shed You know what I mean? So first blood coming from Gunther, right? And yeah, it's we got a big problem. And I think going into this WrestleMania now with Jay, it's a big responsibility. It's more than a match. You know what I mean? I mean, we talking about, this is your brother, this is family, and you choose to go this route and, open up, the scars of Jay's forehead and to be able to shed blood on national TV. It's not an easy thing to swallow. And so, I really like and I feel that, by watching my son Jay come out this past Monday, it was like a dark mindset. Like there's no soul running through his body. Normally, you see the whole arena throw up them hands and throw it down, and the Yeet vibe is just, on point, on fire. But when he walked out and there was no hands throwing up, it was just like a dark soul. That tells me right there that there's a lot going on to my boy's mind. There's a lot of hurt. There's a lot of pain. There's a lot of suffering. There's a lot of, things to be able to fix that needs to be handled. And we can see from the tapes of WWE Netflix on Monday, certain people, when they heard the music, the Yeet was on. When he came out and he didn't do nothing, when the camera panned around the arena, you can see that fire from the fans kind of, oh, shit, this is not a party mood type of Jay. And so it just kind of went flat. The fans didn't raise their hand. So you can feel that they feel his pain because of the movements, the actions of what Jay was bringing out to the fans, which there was no Yeet vibe at all. And so when you see when the fans see something like that, when a person comes out and they're not themselves, that's a person you need to worry about. Because at any given time, this kid can snap or that person can snap. Because now it's so much more than just a match now. It's so much more than just the heavyweight belt. It's about getting revenge. It's about standing up for your family. It's about standing up for yourself, getting revenge on what had happened to your brother. And so at the end of the day, I guess it's just, let's say a prayer, man. Let's pray for Jay, pray for Gunther, pray for the families, because it's going to get nasty, man.
He said, thank you, Bobby. Appreciate you calling in.
I say one more thing. I just want to say I really respect you guys. You really build your family without sending them to AEW or WWE. Like, every member of your family is recognized in the independent scene, and I think that's a big part to what you guys have done. And I just want to say thank you.
Right on, Oos. Big shout out to Jersey. Man, thank you for calling in.
Right on, Bobby. Up next, we got Jason on the line. Jason, please state where you're from and your question for Big Keys.
Hello, Big Keys. I'm Jason from New York City. Much love to you. Much love to Anoa'i Fatu family. Love the twins. Love Roman. Love Solo. Love Jacob. But one of the wrestlers that I really, really loved is Umaga. Man, your brother. What a beast he was. I was seeing some of the documentaries. The twins credit him for bringing them to WWE. Solo, of course, uses the spike as finisher. Even Jacob doing the pop-up summon drop and the hip attack, all inspired from Umaga. So my question to you, Big Kiss, is can you tell me about the influence Umaga had on this next generation stars of your family?
Well, you know what? Thank you for the question. That's a great question. Um, yeah. So Umaga, we all know that this is my younger brother, and Umaga is the baby um, of me and my siblings. I got two sisters, and I have three brothers. And so Umaga, during the time when he was young, he was he's my younger brother, but he was also like my son. So meaning like my boys are, we're always together with their uncle, and they would always spend time there. Umaga would, there'd be a ring in the back, and or the gym or wherever, it's like the big brother, little brothers, and he would just have them all. They had a good close bond because the time when I was on the road, the Umanga's at home. So Umanga's, was that older brother to be able to look after these cats. Sometimes he would go through things like that I probably wouldn't let my kids do. You know what I mean? Like if I tell them be in a house a certain time and, the uncle was, don't worry about it. Well, I'll tell your dad, blah, blah, blah. So they would always be together. They would train together. They would go, work out in the, in the ring together. They would all try, try different things together amongst each other as a group, being, the wrestling, so forth, playing video games, just going out to eat. So, it became real close after the boys as they grew up. And then, of course, my brother got into the business. And once he got his foot through the door, it was still that. It was never any miscommunication or, all of a sudden he's not seeing the boys anymore, including Roman. And so, that love as an uncle, to his nephews, he's really has been that staple in these boys' lives. They all Uncle Eki is what they call, and the whole family. All the nieces and nephews. Uncle Eki is like that cool uncle that all the nieces and nephew wants to hang around with, and so he was that guy. But once he made, the wrestling move into WWE, uh, he never forgot. He never forgot, his nieces and nephew, his family, of course, and it was that part in his career when he seen the boys, and Roman, they were all working in Pensacola, and he just seen a lot more. For me, I didn't see it that way. I wanted my boys to go, to play NFL. I wasn't the one that pitched wrestling to them, and so when you see that documentary, that's exactly what they meant. It's like, the uncle saved their life because they come to me about wrestling, I probably would have shot it down. Because I just wanted them to go experience another sport. I knew in my back pocket that I always had that door open to professional wrestling. But instead, they went that route to where, the uncles, actually pushed for them to get to the WWE. Open the doors up for him, for them to come to Houston to live with them, and then got into the school of Booker T's school, and so there's all those things like that, like even with Solo and the twins and Joe. There's all those memories of that, of how their uncle took care of them and treated them as they were young, and it's something that they'll never forget. And I can honestly say I know they all wish that their uncle was, still here with us on this earth, just to be able to, see how, proud he would be of them, as I know he is, and but also to be able to share, the wealth of what they're doing today with their uncle. As their uncle provided them with things back in the, we all know when you first started, you're broke, you ain't got a pot to piss in. And then you have people there that believe in you and truly, want to help you excel to the next level. And they're no longer here anymore. And so the only thing you have is just a memory, and to be able to pay homage in some way as our life goes on in the squared circle. So, yes, big shout out to Umaga, and just know this, that, this Fatu and Anuai bloodline, man, we as tight as can be.
Thank you, Jason, for calling in, brother. We're going to take an international call. This is our last call of the evening. Allison from Hong Kong. Please state your question.
Oh, gosh.
Hello.
How are you?
Good. Thank you so much.
Can I ask you something,
Yeah.
Allison? What time is there in Hong Kong?
10 a.m.
Wow.
right now.
10 a.m. That is
Yeah.
beautiful. Okay, so wow, you are our first caller from Hong Kong.
Yeah.
That's special.
Oh my god.
Yes.
Oh my god. For
Come on now. We gonna
beforehand.
let's give Allison a yeet. I think we need to give Allison a yeet. All right, Allison.
There it is.
Okay, so what's your question? What you got?
My question is, how the feeling you saw Naomi's who turns into JF Bianca?
Oh. Okay, Allison. I knew somebody was gonna ask me that. Well, you know what? I'm heartbroken. Still to this day, we all, I think I can honestly say that we all still love Jade, Bianca, and Naomi all together. To me, I still hope that somehow that these girls can work out their differences. Even though they're going into WrestleMania, to be able to have a match against each other. I was heartbroken when that happened. I believe there's two sides of the story, and to be able to have these two close friends like Jade and Naomi and also Bianca, for them to kind of have their difference, like they're all going their own way. It's a sad thing, not only for myself to see, but I think for wrestling fans such as yourself, because I feel we all love these girls. Like, they were a good team together. They were fun. They were good role models. All three of them are big superstars in their own right. But I have to go with my daughter-in-law. She's a part of me. I know Jade, but I don't know her well. I know Bianca, but I don't know her well. But I damn sure know Naomi.
Yeah. I know.
So what are your thoughts?
I think they were best friend.
Yeah.
Before, but I also feel like so heartbroken because they really was a good team and they are best friend before.
Man.
But when I saw Bianca and Naomi, they talk about this. It's really want to cry.
Wow.
They really have the nice bond.
Okay, Alice. I want to thank you for calling through. Well, there you have it, man. We have a call all the way from Hong Kong.
And she's heartbroken. She feels it all the way over there, halfway across the world.
Well, there you go, Jade.
Man.
There you go, Bianca. There you go.
Feel good about yourself,
Naomi.
Yeah.
You girls, all three of you girls. I hope you realize the power that you have. The power that you three young ladies have. Like you just heard a call all the way from Hong Kong. She's heartbroken. It makes her want to cry.
And she could barely put her words together. She was so emotional.
Man, come on now.
Wow.
You girls gotta fix this. They gotta work it out. Listen, they're already going on to WrestleMania. WrestleMania, I'm going to say this to both of y'all. You get out there, you whoop each other's asses. Where there ain't no more ass to whoop. Let it all out. And if Bianca steps in there, whoop her ass too. All three of y'all just whoop each other's asses. Get it out. Get the payday. And then after that, I want y'all to hug each other and then back on it. And then, you know what, hopefully, you know, Hong Kong, man, hopefully Hong Kong will be happy. Because that's, damn, boy, that's...
I hope Hong Kong's happy.
I mean, Hong Kong, Germany,
Yeah.
UK, I mean, you name it, you know, Middle East, South Africa, everybody's torn apart from this, man.
I agree.
It ain't just the United States, man. I mean, we talking about worldwide. That's how far the reach of these two black, beautiful women that get out there, man. They touch the globe. And then we turn around, as always. Well, ain't that some
Man.
Every time there's something good happen, we got to turn around and fight each other. Like you couldn't find nobody else. You couldn't find anybody else to come up against black excellence. Come on.
Man.
Come on now. They need to go to church or something.
Speaking of black excellence, Big Keish, I got two more questions before we leave here tonight. One of them's a really hot trending topic, and it has to do with one of your buddies in Booker T. So Swerve Strickland, they just had an AEW pay-per-view, Dynasty, as a matter of fact.
Okay.
And he lost, and as the pay-per-view was the end credits were rolling.
I'm sorry, Joey. Who's the guy?
Swerve Strickland.
Okay, I'm not aware of.
Okay, he used to wrestle.
My apologies. It's just me. I don't watch too much of it. You know?
Me either, Keish. I don't know too much about the guy myself. I do know that he used to wrestle in WWE, but now he's in AEW, and he's a top dog at AEW, representing black excellence. And man, he looks phenomenal. But this
nice
is
to meet you, Swerve.
This is the news that's going around this past last weekend.
Okay.
So he's at a pay-per-view. He lost. End credits are rolling. He's about to. It's going off the air. He's selling. And then when it's off air, he gets up and he tells the crowd, because he has beef with Booker T right now. And people know what the beef is. You can go look what the beef is about. But he gets on the mic after the pay-per-view is off the air, and he says, F Booker T. So my question to you is, I mean, does that make the company, does AEW look a certain way, letting their talent...
Well, I know I would have got fired.
Right?
I mean... Because I'm assuming like this guy here is a good worker, and obviously they closed the show up.
Yes, sir.
You know, he's a big name there for AEW. Well, I'm gonna have to look him up after.
Yeah.
But I mean, thinking from experience, right? Like, you know, the last thing I want to know is dropping somebody else's name that's not even in the company. Like, I mean, if this is a big show and I'm main event of the show and had a great match, blah, blah, blah. And then, you know, I would want my company close up talking about me, what a great match, and, you know, promoting the show, promoting the match. But then, you know, the first thing, if I were to get out there and, you know, say thank you and blah, 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 which is nice. I'm assuming that's a personal thing between him and Booker. Then you turn around and you basically plug Booker. That's what you did. I mean, had I done that, or anybody in our back in the day, well, we probably would have been smarter not to even say that anyways.
Right.
Because we already knew we'd have got fired, or, you know what I mean? But let alone being fired, but that's just not business for the company, right? Like, I don't care about your personals. You don't air your dirty laundry out, you know, especially when I just had, you know, you close up the show, or you had a good match, or you're one of our top guys. You know, so I hope that he looks back over it and kind of, you know, understand, you know, the point of view from this OG. If anybody haven't told him yet or sat him down to, you know, hey, you know, listen, you know, not trying to tell you what to do, but, you know, here's some advice. You know, this coming from a person from, you know, we understand this. And so, but, you know, it's a different, I guess it's a whole new different era, man. I mean, I get it. I got kids I'm assuming this guy here is as young as my kids, in the early 30s or something, or
Sir, yeah, he's
and
younger.
and from the the talks of it, he's like a good worker. Otherwise, he wouldn't be in that spot,
Right.
right? And so, Booker T's, man. Anybody have a problem with Booker T, man? That's the last guy. Meaning, Booker's a lovable dude. Booker's an advocate for a lot of the black generations, pretty much for everybody. Anybody that has passion that want to learn in this business. I mean, hell, he helped train my boys out there in Houston, Texas. So I know Booker. He's a good dude. I mean, he's not one of those guys that hold grudges. He wants all the youngsters to succeed in this business because honestly, Joey, it was hard for us. It was hard for us coming up in this business. If you wasn't figured in, your work had to do the power of you talking. Like we never went out and had to, complain to anybody. Like social media was a no-no because it was just that silent. It was that us protecting our business. So you can imagine we couldn't. The only person we probably vent to is ourselves, right? So we learned how to, since we can't vent to the world, well, how can we make the bookers and the promoters, actually give us a shot so we can make money like everybody else? Give us a shot so we can be main event like everybody. I know I'm just as good as that top guy, but I just ain't, I don't know. What is it? My skin? Is it the color of my hair? Is it because I'm not in that vibe? What is it? The one thing that I've learned and my family has learned that we do have control of is the squared circle. So you get in there, and that's why I always say perfect your craft. Perfect your craft, learn to be that type of worker, and just let your work be your voice. Let your work be your voice, because otherwise, you open your mouth out the wrong way. You remember that the only real thing about it is that paycheck. You open your mouth the wrong way, now that paycheck is gone. Now you look around, now the domino effect goes into your family. Now your family not eating. Now that nice big house you got, you can't afford the note. That beautiful Lamborghini, you can't afford the note. So before, any of you youngsters out there, try to throw play out there, just understand the consequences. Is it worth it? Or is it better just to man up and see the person and see the person in person, and you sit down and you have a talk? You go to a separate private room. Ain't gotta be no cameras. Ain't gotta be nobody around, like, putting this on Instagram or TikTok or Twitter. Nobody in the world has to see this. We just go in and talk just like men. And let me go on and teach you like what this game is about. So, hopefully, Booker T, and the who's there, Swerve, Swerve Strickland.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, hopefully they're able to get together and kind of work this out because, man, the world's watching, man.
Man.
I'm sure Swerve has a lot of fans. Booker, we all know about the Hall of Famer. You know what I mean? He's that guy. You know what I mean? And I'm assuming Swerve is going to be that guy. He's a young cat. He hasn't even continued to build and build and build. And if he's that good of a worker and a good of a well-known name in AEW, I say ride that wave, Oos. Don't let anything else bother you. You know what I mean? Clear the noise, man. Just focus on you. Focus on getting that bag, and just focus on the goals that you have in professional wrestling, because it ain't gonna be around for a while. Sooner or later, every day, man. Tomorrow not promised to neither one of us. So let's get it. Praying for you, Swerve.
Yes, sir. We're going to finish off with kind of a perfect segue because it's another younger generation talent kind of stepping up to actually one of your close wrestling buddies, The Undertaker. We're going to talk about Gunther. Gunther was on the TV show LFG, and it's a TV show I'm not sure if you're familiar with, but Undertaker's on there, Bubba Ray Dudley's on there, and Gunther made an appearance, and he had some comments to make about one of Taker's students. And basically, Actually, I'll just read you his quote right here, Big Keish. This is coming from Gunther talking about The Undertaker. There's no adrenaline rush with that, doing appearances like WWE LFG. I've been teaching and coaching people in professional wrestling since, I don't know how long, must be more than 10 years now. And I know my experience is that, and I know that I know what I'm looking for in people. So basically, he's saying that he's a better coach than The Undertaker. And he said this to Undertaker's face on the TV show.
Yeah.
Now, my question to you, basically, you just
Undertaker,
basically...
Undertaker didn't pop him in the mouth?
No, he did not.
Man.
And so I wanted to get your thoughts on that. I mean, he on TV, on camera, he stepped up to the OG of OGs, The Undertaker.
Wow.
Do you think he should have...
There's just like a lot of disrespect going on, I guess.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? We just, I don't know these guys, man. I just know what I see. You know, I'm not around that, you know what I mean? But it's just a different vibe, dude. Yeah, the attitude there, we didn't around. The attitude there, you step up, you step down. Or we put you down. You know what I mean? You better come correct. You better open your mouth and understand before you even talk to me. And, you know, I guess it's a new era, man, because me knowing the Taker, I know Taker would have blasted him. I mean, it would have been BSK all over again. You know what I mean? But, yeah, you live to live another day, Gunther. You know, especially, you know, they don't call dead man for just that. You know what I mean? And so, yeah, it's one of those things, man. You know, it has to do with training, I guess, to where these guys come from. Like, isn't that locker room etiquette? And doesn't that rule fall up underneath there? Like, but then again, who knows? It's a new TV show, right? New producers, maybe. I mean, these producers, you know, they're probably as young as they are. You know what I mean? So they probably don't even know anything about professional wrestling, you know. But me knowing Mark, The Undertaker would have popped. He would have popped Gunther right in the mouth. You know what I'm saying? So I don't know what the deal is, but yeah, man, Gunther, know your role, man. Know your role. You got the good dead man. That's what happened. That day you got the good dead man. Because had you had the old BSK dead man, oh yeah, you would have been Tombstone. You know what I mean? You would have been brass knuck to the face. You know, all that. And then Taker would have probably just popped open a bottle of Jack Daniels and take a toast, gargling, and probably spit it on top of Gunther. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. That's my thought of that.
There it is. Big Keish, we are 1 week away from WrestleMania 41. You've got a lot of stuff going on. Knox Pro's got a lot of stuff going on. Really quick before we go, where can people find you at come WrestleMania weekend?
Well, listen, you can go ahead and just go onto my website. It's Rikishi Fatu. I've been plugging Knox Pro so much. My whole Instagram, I'll tell you, let's knock out my whole Instagram, Knox Pro Entertainment is doing it big. When I meant about my whole Instagram, I've been reposting everything that came out of Knox Pro. So we're having a huge event. It's downtown Las Vegas event. And Knox Pro is having a 3-day event from Wednesday until Friday. So make sure you go onto the website. You know, they're having wrestling matches during the day. I'm having, you know, a bash party, so forth, after late night a DJ party going on. So, you know, after a lot of people that there at WrestleCon, you know, there's nowhere else to go, not unless you're going to WWE, you know, world, or, you know, we got what's happening with us at Knox Pro Entertainment. So, you know, make sure you go. Get over there, get your tickets. We just found out that they open up to vendors. So if you're a small business owner or, you know, you're another talent that's looking for a place to, you know, to come and move your you know, your merch, blah, 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 make sure you go on there and check out Knox Pro. Go to knokxpro.com because I believe there's limited tables that are available. So make sure you get in there and get that opportunity. So stop by. It's going to be another vibe to be. So I'll be there doing that. I'll be bouncing over to WrestleCon. I'm bouncing over to, I got things with WWE going on. And then, of course, I'll be out there at, you know, WrestleMania, of course, for for Jay's match. So it's going to be a vibe, man. You know what I mean? So I'm very excited to see Knox Pro doing big things. Especially on the weekend of WrestleMania. We've been open now for well over 17 years, and now we're really stepping into where the world can really see and understand what Knox Pro is all about. And of course, you and I, we're gonna be doing our podcast up
Yes,
there.
sir.
So make sure, fans, you guys can stop by, get an autograph or a selfie with me and my host TMD. Rikishi Fatu Off the Top podcast.
Yes, sir.
And we're looking forward to. Yeah, I'm sure you're gonna have a lot of questions. We can doing this thing live up there. So
I'm sure it's gonna be coming.
Right.
Man, Big Keish, we are out. You have any final words?
No, I'll see y'all at WrestleMania, man. I'll see y'all at Knox Pro Entertainment. Make sure you push up. Free to be kind. And always, always smarten up. And I'm out.